White opal. White opal, also called light opal, is the most commonly found and widely sold variety of opal in the world, featuring a white or light grey body colour with flashes of spectral colour that dance across the surface when the stone is moved under light. It is primarily mined in South Australia, particularly in the famous opal fields of Coober Pedy and Mintabi, which together supply a significant portion of the world's commercial white opal and have been producing the stone since the early 20th century. While white opal is the most affordable and accessible variety in the opal family, the finest examples with exceptionally bright and broad colour play can still command impressive prices, and the quality difference between a dull white opal and a vivid one is immediately visible even to an untrained eye. Black opal. Black opal is the most valuable and coveted variety of opal in the world, distinguished by its dark body colour, which ranges from dark grey to jet black, and acts as a backdrop that makes the play of colour appear dramatically more vivid and intense than in any other opal type. Lightning Ridge in New South Wales, Australia is the only significant source of fine black opal in the world, and stones from this region with a true black body tone and bright full-spectrum colour play are considered among the most valuable opals ever discovered. The record price paid for a single black opal is over $3 million, and top-quality black opals regularly fetch higher prices per carat than many diamonds, making them one of the most underappreciated luxury gemstones in the entire market. Boulder Opal. Boulder Opal is a uniquely Australian variety where thin seams and patches of precious opal form naturally within the cracks and voids of ironstone boulders, and because the opal layer is too thin to remove from the host rock, it is cut and sold with the ironstone still attached as part of the finished stone. The dark ironstone backing gives Boulder Opal many of the same visual advantages as black opal, allowing the play of colour to appear particularly vivid and bright against the dark natural background, and it is for this reason that Boulder Opal is considered the second most valuable opal variety after black opal. Queensland in Australia is the primary source of Boulder Opal, and because each stone retains its natural host rock, the shape and pattern of every single Boulder Opal is completely unique and can never be exactly replicated. Crystal Opal. Crystal opal is defined not by its colour but by its transparency or semi-transparency, featuring a body that is clear enough to allow light to pass through it while still displaying the characteristic play of colour that opals are known for. This transparency can actually intensify the visual impact of the colour play, since light enters and interacts with the internal silica structure from multiple directions, giving crystal opal a glowing and almost three-dimensional appearance that many collectors consider among the most beautiful of all opal types. Crystal opal can be found in both Australian and Ethiopian deposits, and when it occurs with a dark or black body tone, it is classified as black crystal opal, which combines the brilliance of crystal with the colour intensity of black opal, and is extremely rare. Fire opal. Fire opal is unique within the opal family because it is defined by its vivid body colour of red, orange or yellow rather than its play of colour, and many fine fire opals display little to no colour play at all while still being highly prized for their intense warm transparency. It is primarily found in Mexico, where it has been mined since the time of the Aztecs, who called it Quetzalitzlipiolitli, meaning the stone of the bird of paradise. And Mexican fire opal remains the most important commercial source of this variety in the world today. Unlike most other opals, which are always cut as cabochons to best display their colour play, high-quality fire opals with exceptional transparency are sometimes faceted like conventional gemstones, which is almost entirely unique within the opal family and gives them an appearance closer to a fine orange sapphire or spessartite garnet. Ethiopian Opal. Ethiopian Opal, also known as Wello Opal after the Wello region where the finest examples are found, burst onto the international gem market in the early 2000s and has since become one of the most commercially significant opal discoveries in modern gemological history. It typically features a white, yellow, or orange body colour, with exceptionally bright and vivid play of colour that many collectors argue rivals or even surpasses the finest Australian white opals in terms of raw visual impact. One of the most distinctive and controversial characteristics of Ethiopian opal is that it is hydrophane, meaning it can absorb water and temporarily become more transparent when wet, which some buyers see as fascinating and others see as a drawback, since prolonged water exposure can affect the stone's appearance and stability over time. Matrix Opal. Matrix opal refers to a type of opal where the precious opal material is diffused throughout the host rock in small veins and specks, rather than forming a distinct seam or layer, meaning the entire piece of stone is a mixture of ironstone or sandstone with scattered points of colour play distributed throughout the material. It is primarily found in the Andamuka opal fields of South Australia, and Andamuka matrix opal is sometimes treated with a sugar and acid process that darkens the host rock and makes the scattered colour play appear more vivid and dramatic against the darker background. Because of its unique appearance and the way light plays across hundreds of tiny points of colour simultaneously, matrix opal produces a visual effect entirely unlike any other opal variety and is particularly popular among collectors who prefer unusual and unconventional gemstones. Peruvian opal. Peruvian opal, also called blue opal or Andean opal, is a variety of common opal found in the Andes Mountains of Peru and is notable for its beautiful pastel body color, which ranges from a soft sky blue to a seafoam green, with some examples displaying a delicate pink or rose tone as well. Unlike precious opal, Peruvian opal displays no play of color at all, but it is prized purely for its calm and translucent body color, which has made it popular in both traditional and contemporary jewelry design for decades. It holds cultural significance in Peru, where it has been used in indigenous jewelry and craftsmanship for centuries, and it remains one of the most distinctive national gemstones of South America, often promoted as a point of cultural pride by the Peruvian gem industry. Doublet opal. Doublet opal is a composite stone consisting of a thin slice of genuine precious opal bonded to a dark backing material, most commonly black potch or ironstone, designed to give the appearance of a full black opal at a fraction of the cost. The dark backing performs the same visual function as the natural dark body tone in a true black opal, dramatically amplifying the brightness and contrast of the colour play in the thin opal layer above it, which means doublets can look visually spectacular despite containing far less actual opal than a solid stone. It is important for buyers to understand the difference between a solid opal and a doublet when making a purchase because their value and durability differ significantly, and a doublet should never be soaked in water as moisture can penetrate between the layers and cause the adhesive to fail over time. Triplet opal. Triplet opal is a more developed version of the doublet, consisting of 3 layers bonded together: a dark base, a very thin slice of precious opal in the middle, and a transparent dome of quartz or glass on top that protects the delicate opal layer and magnifies its colour play simultaneously. Because the opal slice used in a triplet is even thinner than in a doublet, triplets are the most affordable opal option available on the market and make the visual effect of precious opal accessible to buyers at almost any budget. The protective quartz or glass top layer gives triplets a practical advantage over solid and doublet opals in terms of surface durability, but like doublets, they should be kept away from prolonged water exposure and should never be submerged, as the edges where the layers meet remain vulnerable to moisture. If opals fascinate you, wait until you see what other gemstones are hiding. Every birthstone, the history behind each one, why some are rarer than you think, and what makes certain months luckier than others. That video is up right now.